Hello, 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 and welcome everybody. Good evening. Shanti. Hope you're all doing well, and hope everything is well at your end. Hope you had a productive and blessed week, and hope you are going to enjoy the weekend ahead. So welcome everybody. I would like to welcome you, and let's work together on creating a beautiful destiny and moving on from challenges to new opportunities and opening new doors. I welcome you all, and I hope you have a blessed and great time and you get the benefit from this online session. So, of course, some people may be wondering why are we, first of all, am I audible to everybody? Can everybody hear me well? Please put your thumbs up if you can do that. If you can hear me well, please put your thumbs up. Can you hear me well? Just put your thumbs up. Let me see. Yes. Okay. I'm getting some comments as well. Thank you very much. So yeah, let's move on. So some people may be wondering, back to the topic, that why are we having a session on Thursday and it's evening and it's time to enjoy and it's weekend, and some people have that question in mind. Well, in case you never knew, today is the International Youth Day. This is celebrated worldwide by the UN. A lot of people may be not aware of this day or thinking that it doesn't exist. Well, there's a day to recognize, of course, the youth and recognize that they are the power, the engine, the fuel that would lead us forward. So the International Youth Day is celebrated on the 12th of August every year, and it's recognized by the United Nations. I would like to ask a question to start an interactive and beautiful session with you. The question is, write down, please, in the comments, what is this year's topic or theme about, the theme of the International Youth Day? Have you researched it? Did you have time during the week or today? If you have any idea, please write it in the comments. What is the topic or what is the theme, the slogan for this International Youth Day this year? Let's see if we have any good comments. I'll just give you a few seconds for that. So please write down before I say it. Let's see. Any good comments you can write down in the chat box. What is the theme for this International Youth Day? And of course, a lot of people, as I was scrolling through social media, well, we got one good answer. Maybe you can copy and paste now, like how it's done always on. So that is a correct answer. Food and health safety, but it's related to transforming food systems. That is the actual words, transforming food systems worldwide, of course. So the International Youth Day, through its form, has concentrated or has been focused on transforming food systems. And if we look at the word transforming, we will notice that the word transforming means creating a new destiny, correct? We are transforming something, and of course, you always want to transform to the better. You want to create a new opportunity. You want to move forward. So it's all about bettering life. So the host today, Raj Yoga Center for Self-Development, has been serving in the community here in Oman for more than 20 years. They have been offering beautiful courses of meditation. They have been offering as well they offer how to go to the inner self, how to understand yourself better, how to become a better person within, and how to serve people and enjoy your time. So we have a couple of reminders just before starting and introducing the beautiful speakers for today. First of all, reminder number one is that there will be a Google document form. Please fill up this form, take the time to fill up this form. It would be posted in the section in the chat box. Now, as I speak, you can fill it up. Why is that? Because if you fill it up, you will get updates, you'll get notifications of the programs that are going to happen within August and upon the next months. That is very important. So please take time to fill this document. And then we have some other small notifications to help us lead forward. But before that, I would like to state something, as I see a lot of screens like blank. So why don't you put on your screens? Why? Because it's beautiful to create a new destiny when we're all happy and we're all cooperating together and we're all having a nice time together. So please, if it's permissible for you and if you're having a good time, please open your screen and let us see your beautiful face shine with a smile. So yeah, I will move on to the flow of this session, how this session would go on. So we would have 20 minutes for each speaker to speak, speaker one and speaker two. They will have 20 minutes each to have an insight, to share their thoughts about the topic, creating a destiny, how is it happening, how can we move forward, all this criteria. And then after that, we will have 20 minutes for Q&A session. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box, or if you would like to share, you can raise your hand and you'll be given by the host the authority to share to share your question via video, which would be nice as well. And at the end, we will have a 5-minute meditation experience for people who are new to meditation or who want to try out meditation. And it's good also to revive after the session. Before I share some good, before I introduce the speakers and share a good thing that came in last minute, that was really awesome, that someone here in Oman is appreciating the Youth Day. Some good gift is here for you. So let's go on to the upcoming programs. I don't know if you can see that on your screen as well, because I have it here written down. If it could be shared on the screen, the upcoming programs that we have in Raj Yoga Center. So I have it here with me. I will read it out for you. I hope it's shared on the screen. Done. So we have, it would be shared on the screen as you see now. So they are all, of course, all the sessions in Raj Yoga Center are free here, except if it's done in association with other partners and people. But other than that, the sessions that are in the center are free. It's good to know what is happening. So we have creative meditation for self-mastery. There is sessions that happen multiple times within a month. So there was on the 4th and then on the 18th. Again, it would happen the 18th of August. We have also the meditation course, which is a 5-day course, a deep, thorough course for you to learn how to meditate properly in the Raja Yoga form. There was one on the 8th and there is one again on the 22nd. We have a program for kids, which is Enlightened Kids. There is different age groups the age group starts from 6 years up to 11 years. And then what we are celebrating today, the UN International Day for Youth. Of course, it's the 12th of August. That's why we are all sitting here on a Thursday. And then evening meditation happens every day from 7 to 7:30. You are welcome to attend at the center in Rui, or you can join online because it is also online. May I let you know that this also is broadcasted on YouTube, so we have some viewers from YouTube as well. So now, just before introducing the speakers, let us both listen to a word from Sayyid Khalid bin Hamad. If you don't know who Sayyid Khalid bin Hamad is, he is the chairman of the Olympic Society here in Oman. So let's hear to his word, and then we will move on to introduce the speakers and go on with the flow of the session.
Hello. International Youth Day is an important opportunity to draw attention to youth issues in Oman. Hello. International Youth Day is an important opportunity to draw attention to youth issues in Oman and around the world. There are a diverse array of issues affecting our youth today, whether that be achieving sustainability for the future, education, employment, or mental health matters. I would firstly like to congratulate Raja Yoga Center for Self-Development for making this day in Oman by hosting this virtual session. Acknowledging the challenges of the past 18 months and global change, I am sure many individuals benefit enormously from the work you do at your center to find a sense of calmness and support. Celebrating our youth is important, and it is a day I look forward to annually alongside Omani Youth Day. The reason I say this is because I am surrounded by talented, inspiring, creative, hardworking youth each and every day. I spend time with them, laugh with them, and may have also learned a thing or two along the way. Whether it be spending time with my adult children, members of staff at my organization, watching Olympians train their hardest, collaborating with young singers, or talking to talented youth on my Instagram Live, I'm always invigorated. Today, we celebrate you, as we should. And those like myself who are young at heart, I ask, are you doing everything you can to support our youth to reach their fullest potential? If not, what can you do next? Khalid Al Busaidi.
So we would like to extend our thanks to His Highness Mr. Khalid bin Hamad Al Busaidi, the Olympic chairman. So let's move on with the session now. That was beautiful and wise words from him. Of course, the youth, as we know, is always the fuel and always the thing that pushes any economy, that pushes any society, that pushes any country actually forward. So I would like to introduce the speakers for today. I know you are really excited to know the speakers and get to hear from them and get to know their thoughts about this beautiful topic about creating a new destiny and moving on from challenges to opportunities. So I will introduce both speakers together, and then I will lay the floor in front of Mr. Khalid Al-Huraybi to go on. So our speaker one, as I said, Mr. Khalid Al-Huraybi. Welcome, Mr. Khalid. He is an innovator and a storyteller. He has a hands-on experience of more than 20 years with people and enterprises. And of course, a very beautiful smile from Mr. Khalid. He is currently the MD and the managing director and the founder of Impact Theory, Earth Al-Mutakamila. He has a beautiful experience. So that is speaker number one. And before just moving the session to him, I'll introduce speaker number two as well. And then we will give him the floor so then the session can flow and you can hear from both speakers. So speaker number two as well is Mr. Prakash Chungani. Mr. Prakash is a leadership coach. As you see, both are on the screen, beautiful faces, beautiful smiles. He is a leadership coach and soft skills trainer. He has trained more than 2,500 people in various countries, I think 11, 12 countries. That is really awesome to move around and share your knowledge and be interactive with a lot of people. He has an MBA in marketing, and he is always been a practitioner of meditation. I believe over 20 years now, Prakash, of meditation. So we will hear from both speakers. So first of all, let's all give a round of applause, an electronic round of applause to Mr. Khalid Al-Huraybi and give him the floor to share his thoughts and insights. Over to you, Mr. Khalid.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for the wonderful and generous introduction. I'm very happy to be here, and I was very pleased to know about the work of the Raja Yoga Center, and I really congratulate them for all their resilience over the past few years and for remembering to bring people together and engage them in a topic as important as meditation and as important as destiny on the International Youth Day. I hope I won't bore you for very long. Today, the first thing that I thought about when I saw the word destiny is a question that has been in my mind for a while, and I have been reading about it, but not nearly enough, which is the question of how are we, each one of us, how are we going to measure our life after a long time from now, inshallah? How would one measure and put a criteria of his life, whether he led a good life or not? And one of the things that really touched me was a work by a professor in Harvard University called Clayton Christensen, who theorized that once he reached 80 years old, that how would he measure his life is by how many other lives he has impacted positively. And to me, that is very profound. And here, the spiritual teaching that I grew up with was that how will you measure your life will depend on three things after a very long time. all of us one day will leave this earth and will leave only three things behind us. We will leave, our impact will be how many people will remember us and pray for us and praise our memory. We will leave behind us a good knowledge if it was useful for people. And we will leave for us any endowment in case we have invested something on this earth. So the idea of having these three things only left behind after we leave this universe is very profound, because investing in people who would pray for you once you are not there, it might sound like something easy, but it's actually can be really challenging to reach people in a way that they will remember you after you're long gone. And the same thing is that whenever I am doing work, I always think, is what I'm working on something that is a useful knowledge that will be useful for people long after I'm gone, whether it's in management or in accounting or in science or in the artificial intelligence field that I am working in. What I think is, will I ever be able to leave useful knowledge that other people can improve their lives with? And the third thing is that what am I doing now? What am I investing in now that will be an endowment that will survive me? And there, for example, I've invested in some very small schools in some parts of the world that teach people how to read and write. So, this is something that I think is very related to destiny. I think our message here on earth as human beings is to make positive impact in the life of others. And these three ways can be like a guiding light or a North Star that can help us along that path. Another thing is, when I think of our relationship with others, this is something that sometimes poses a challenge for us to reach our destiny. And one thing that has helped me in managing my outlook to the relations with others is thinking of my life that I am, there are four parts to Khalid or four parts to myself. There is, there is the body, the physical presence that is here. And there is the mind that calculates and thinks about things over and over and sometimes keeps me up all night. And there is the soul that kind of tries to connect with others. But there is something higher, which is the spirit, which is something that is almost untouchable and sometimes even inconceivable. And the way that I think of it is that we always, when we meet people, we think of ourselves with our bodies, with our minds, and sometimes with our souls. And some of these Sufi teachings, people who meditate for very, very long time say that all of our spirits have already met in alternative universes. And the idea is, this getting along with others, we should look at it in a very careful manner. And we try to, as much as possible, think that we are all part of one universe, that we have met before and that we were distant, either that we do good deeds together or that we should part on good terms. If we do that, I think a lot of the tension that exists in the relationships between human beings will lessen. And I was talking to, since we are International Youth Day, I was talking to youth from Abri the other day. And they have asked me what is the one thing that can make their projects count in Al-Dhahira region in Abri. And they told me, is it technology? Is it how big our project is? Is it how many people we can count in the governorate? I told them I'm not really sure about that criteria, but I want you to do one thing, which is to be present. And the idea is, sometimes since we are in school, we were taught that when people say our name, when they say Khalid, Safi, Khamis, Muhammad Al-Huraybi, we say present or I'm here. But I told them that, there were a group of 40 people. I told them, I see 40 people who are here, but they are not really present. Because we are, when we are watching TV, when we are with our friends, we have grown to separate the existence of our body and our minds from our souls and our spirits. And even sometimes when we are with friends and family and our loved ones, we are there, but we are not really present. And being present to me is feeling the universe, feeling that, being blessed that you are breathing, feeling that you are blessed that we have our senses, feeling that we are blessed by having relationship with others, feeling that we are blessed that we have all these beautiful plants, we have the water, we have the air that we are breathing, we have creatures that are in the ocean that are emitting O2 that we are breathing. We have all this science, all this knowledge. We have people who are working all over around the world creating medicine for us. There are people who are trying to connect and thinking about us. That is really being present. And I think one thing that we have learned in COVID, that we have been here on this earth. And we have been just going from one day to the other just by being there, but not by being present, but focusing on consumption of everything that comes in our way, by focusing on gathering as much money as we can, by gathering as many followers and friends on Facebook and Instagram, and by gathering the likes, but not really feeling blessed by being present on this universe. So I told those friends, the students, when you go to Abri, and when you feel present with every grain of sand, and when you feel all the relationships and the people who want you to be successful, when you feel blessed by even by just taking one breath, that's when you will find the meaning in the project, and you will do it for the right reasons. But if you're doing this project because you want people to mention you, or you want an award, or you're doing it only for the certificate, you will never really fulfill a destiny that will survive you long after you're gone. And do you want to do something for one day, or you want something to be here that people will pray for you after you're long gone? So I hope that the message from today, this International Youth Day and this blessed day, is that there are three things that I have tried to use in my life. I have tried to have my relationships with people that if one day that I'm not here, they will remember me and they will say, wow, Khalid was someone that I was happy to know, and they will say a prayer for me. And I'm living my life that one day I hope people will remember Khalid wrote this scientific paper and I really benefited from it, or gave this talk and it was good. And the third thing is that I hope that I'm in these kids that I'm investing in their education in some village, one day will remember my name and they will say a good prayer for me. And the last thing that I would leave you with is that I hope that we are, here in this talk, we're not just here by mute and unmuting and video or close your video, but it's much higher than this, that we are connected in body, mind, soul, and our spirits, because we have already met. And now Ahmed was a good reason for us to meet and enjoy this moment. And we're truly blessed. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to connect with you today. And I hope that I've been present and not just here. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Mr. Khalid, for these beautiful and wise words. You are truly present here and you're benefiting a lot of people. And of course, we engage and we encourage the people here as well to show their beautiful faces with smiles. You can open your camera, no worries. No one will bite you or no one will do anything to you. We will enjoy seeing your beautiful smiles over here. So please feel free to do that if it's suitable for you and permissible. So I would like to as well remind you about the Google documentation. Please make sure to fill it up, because this will ensure that you receive the future Raja Yoga program sessions. And of course, we are seeing some comments coming in. If you have any questions from Mr. Khalid, you can type the name to Mr. Khalid, and then you can type down your question, or you can share it in video in the Q&A session. Now, after these beautiful wise words from Mr. Khalid, let's move on to our second speaker, the well-waited and anticipated for Mr. Prakash Chugani. Mr. Prakash, the floor is yours. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Brother Khalid, for so eloquently and nicely sharing your insights on destiny and for really connecting at a very different level. I really feel that connect. And yes, we have definitely been meeting much before we are meeting today. I know that. So yeah, that's beautiful. I loved the fact that you spoke about how important it is for us to have a meaning in life, a purpose, and to really see that it's a purpose not just for the self alone, but it is for the world. I mean, in some way or the other, we've got to use our time, energies in contributing for the benefit of others. I love that. Thank you so much. So wonderful. So a question that I'd like to ask everybody is, when was the last time you changed something about yourself? When was the last time you changed something about yourself? Well, interestingly, you are changing things about yourself every single moment. Every second is something that's happening inside you that is being changing, whether you know about it or you don't know about it. You may be conscious, maybe unconscious, but you're changing things every moment. At a physical level also, you're changing. Every moment you're breathing something, there's a change that takes place in your whole body. You breathe in, you breathe out, you have all your wonderful cells in your body that are constantly getting rejuvenated, and you've got a huge amount of changes happening every second. But also at a mental level, every single moment we are changing. There's something new that you're picking up. We heard some beautiful words from Brother Khalid, and so I'm sure there's some expansion at a psychological level that would have happened, and we would have learned something different. And when you learn something different, you're not the same person that you were before. So I feel as we are constantly listening to things, as we're constantly moving forward in life, every moment we are actually changing and we are becoming different people. You cannot be the same person you were a minute back. You will be different. I will be different. We are all different in every single moment as we move forward. So when we look at the word challenge, it is challenges that make change possible. And change means expansion. Change means growth. Change means progress, movement. In other words, change means life. So if it was not for challenges, we would not have life. We wouldn't have change at all, and that wouldn't be possible. And in fact, we're talking about the youth today. And the great thing about youth is they love challenges. They love to put themselves in the midst of adventure, creativity, newness. They don't like things that have been old. They always want to look at something that is different, right? In terms of whether you want to go to the new place to eat your food, you want to have some new, different ways of meeting with people, you want to have new friends, and probably whatever other things you want to have in terms of newness, whether it's the environment, the changes that you want to have in terms of places you want to visit, people you want to see. But we're always looking for change and we're looking for challenges. So life actually is all about change and challenge. If you remove challenges from life, we'll be stagnant. We'll probably be in the same place that we were before. And there wouldn't be this innate sense of feeling of joy, happiness, of overcoming some obstacles, challenges, moving forward. Because only when we overcome these challenges, we'll feel great. Let's take this beautiful football game, right? We love to play football. Kurtal Kadam, we say, right? Okay, so when we play football, imagine that you're taking the ball and you're going towards the goalpost of the other side, and there's nobody stopping you. There are no challenges. There's no obstacles. You just take the ball, go dribble, and just shoot the goal. You feel very, flat. You say, I mean, I didn't enjoy my football. Why? Because the opponents were not strong enough. In fact, there was no opponents at all. When you put some strong opponents on the side, very strong people on the other team, and then if you start playing and you go and shoot a goal, your excitement is going to be very different. Why? Because this time you had some very strong opposition. So that's the same way life is. The more challenges that we have in life, and as we steer our lives across these challenges, there's so much of excitement, joy, a feeling of sense of fulfillment, of achievement. And that is the reason why life means challenge and change. So the first thing we got to do, I feel, and I've started learning this from quite some time, is I've got to start adapting myself to change. Usually there's a lot of inertia, huge amount of gravity. Although we at a surface level feel challenges are nice for us and it's good for us to change is the only constant in this world, innately we try to look for certainty. We want to be assured about tomorrow and the day after and the next 10 years and the next 30 years. So what we usually as humans try to do is we try to build things around us that protect us and support us and secure us over a period of time. And so we like to really see how we can control that phase so that we don't have too many issues to deal with as we move forward. And so I think it's important for us to let go of that fear, let go of that inertia, let go of that feeling of, the fact that I will not be able to do stuff, and embrace change and realize that change is good, change is important, and I cannot stop it, no matter what I do. So 3 things I thought I'll share with you today, which will support us in seeing how we can make these challenges opportunities. In fact, I believe that opportunities are disguised as challenges. That's all. So if you look at a challenge in front of you, it is nothing else but an opportunity. But the opportunity is just hidden a little bit at the back. And you got to just pursue a little, stand your ground, face it, move forward. And then suddenly when the challenge moves off, you'll see, oh, wow, such a big opportunity was here and I didn't even know about it. So we've got to start changing the meaning of challenges to opportunities. And I can share many examples in my life when I've seen these challenges come my way. And by me being open to them and adapting to them, I've seen suddenly they convert into opportunities. So I'm in this, so I just share one example, and it's an interesting one. I'm in the work that I do with learning and development, training, all right? And one big challenge that I had when I was a little younger was I was growing bald, right? It's a funny one, but it's an interesting one. So it was a challenge that, hey, you know what, you're balding by a 34, 35, I was starting to lose all my hair. And that time I had a nice corporate job. I was working, I was doing sales, I was doing exceptionally well. And then I suddenly realized that, I want to do something more meaningful. I want to contribute more. I want to share my knowledge and ideas with others. So I quit my job and I started my own business of learning and development. And before that, I was looking at myself and thinking, oh, I wish I didn't have such balding so fast. I would have loved to continue with having my hair on my head for the next 10, 15 years at least. But what happened when I actually started working was when people started seeing me, this bald person is coming and talking to us, I was instantly recognized by people as somebody who's very wise and who's very mature with a lot of experience. And I was given open doors to come and, deal and talk and train high executives who were probably 15, 20, 30 years elder to me. And I realized that, and many people will say, wow, you look very mature and you look very experienced. So, I'm sure we'll be very happy for you to come and do this for us. In fact, even in certain universities, which would be very difficult for someone to get into, even as a student, I was invited over there to do certain talks and to become an adjunct faculty, which I still continue doing. And so how this challenge, which I thought was a big challenge for me in terms of how I'm going to go about my career if I didn't have hair on my head, suddenly turned into my favor. And, I said, wow. And that's just one thing. That's one thing. So that was a beautiful thing that we did. Secondly, so firstly, 3 points I want to share. First is we are all designed to change, and to take up challenges. Never believe or never think that a challenge is too big for you. Never. There is no challenge that is bigger than your own ability to overcome it. So your ability is always higher than your challenge. And the way life is destined, or the way it's designed, I would say, is that depending on your ability, that's how your challenges would be. And you may seem to be a little bigger and huger. It's just because you have not seen how big and huge you yourself are. We are always bigger than the challenges that come to us, always. And so never underestimate your own power and size. That's the first thing. I think, remember, you are designed to take up the challenges that come to you. Other people getting challenges, those people getting challenges, it's their story. But in my story, in my level, those challenges only come to me, which I can actually face. It may stretch me a little bit because I'm not seeing myself as much. But once I get stretched, I will never go back to the same place I was before. You know, like once you get a challenge of, let's say you're in a standard 10, you're doing your board exams, and you have a question paper there, it would stretch you a bit that time, you know. But when you're going a next section and you're in your standard 12, and then somebody pulls you down and say, hey, can you do this paper for standard 10? You say, yeah, that's easy, man. Now I'm worth doing standard 12 exams. So 10 standard shouldn't be a problem. So we keep progressing and we keep moving. With every challenge that I face, my capability enhances and I can take on something higher and bigger and better. So that's why it's important to take these challenges up, because it's a growth for me. But also remember that no challenge will come to me that I cannot face or I cannot solve in the right way. The second part is the power of a full stop. What happens is a lot of things happened in the past. And when things happen in the past, we carry that past in our lives today. I might have lost opportunities. I might have done mistakes. I might have done things which are not very interesting for me. And so what happens is I'm so focused on the past that I'm not focused on the present, right? Like Brother Khalid mentioned so beautifully. Am I fully present here? So right now, every one of us is sitting here as well. How many of us are actually here? Vis-a-vis, how many of you are probably somewhere else in some other zone? Maybe even in the future, thinking about what we're going to have for, our lovely dinner. So it's so important to put a full stop to the past, not to worry so much of the future right now, and to be in the present, because your opportunities are here right now. And unless I'm looking at, the present and understanding what's really happening, I will not be able to emerge into those opportunities. And the last one I like to share with you is failure is fine. It's perfectly okay to fail. Many a times we are scared to take challenges up because I'm scared to fail. And why am I afraid to fail? Anybody in this world who has actually done something for themselves has always started off failing. Even we as children, one of the biggest things that we have learned is to walk. How many times did we fall down before we actually stood up and started walking? Each and every one of us. Probably we can't count the number of times, right? But we failed and failed and failed and failed and failed. If that's what you call failure, falling down is failure, then we have failed probably 10,000 times, But then suddenly now all of us are standing and moving, walking. Imagine if you were scared of failing and the kid falls down 10 times and then says, you know what, I'm not going to try to stand up and walk at all because I'm a failure. So we've got to really change the meaning of the word failure, and it's very important so that we can face these challenges in a better fashion. There's a saying, you got to fail fast, you got to fail frequently, and you got to fail forward, which means that what we call failure truly is an important part of the learning curve. It's an important stepping stone towards our own excellence and becoming better. I wouldn't use the word success because many times a huge amount of the success orientation also doesn't allow me to take proper challenges up. We all want to be successful. And I think I'm successful. So I've stopped taking challenges. But don't be successful, but just be your best version of who you are. That to me will give you everything else you want in life. All of us have the version I am in right now, and I have a better version of myself. All of us, we have this gap between where I am and where I could be, my potential, my magnificent self. So what we've got to start doing now is we just say, okay, failure, no problem. If I fail, it's okay. I'll try again. If I fail again, it's okay. I'll try again. I'll learn and I'll try again. Learn and try again. And so if we can take care of that, we should be able to embrace challenges in a much better fashion. So change your orientation of failure. With that, I would just want to remind you of your magnificent self. Each and every one of us are brilliant people. Within, internal, if you just go a little into your own self, beyond the physical body that we can see, right? And there is this amazing space of peace, power, love, purity, and amazing wisdom. And in every single one of us, what I have been doing for the past 20 years when I've been meditating is I've been going within and tasting this magnificent self. And every time you do that, where attention goes, energy flows, life grows. The more you're looking at your magnificence, the more it grows. It becomes bigger, it becomes larger, it becomes wider. And so how can you contribute to the world in a better fashion? To me, and this is something that I've learned over a long period of time. Earlier for me, it was about giving things to people. And I think that's a good thing. You know, the energy of giving rather than taking. We have to shift that energy. We have to shift the energy from constantly wanting to take. We have to start seeing how can I give. But the greatest gift you can give to mankind is by achieving your own excellence, by achieving your own magnificent self. Because once you're there, and once everybody else reaches that space, we will actually start experiencing heaven on earth. And so what better contribution can we give to people than to experience that fantastic space here and now? So how can you do that? It's a very simple way. All right, we could probably do that quickly now. With me, as you're with me, just look at your own self as a person who is probably, say, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Look at yourself who is full and complete, and you've got everything that you want. You're full of wisdom, you're full of love, you're full of peace. And then when you look at yourself in that space, you actually feel it. Because you know the brain of yours, the brain cannot distinguish imagination from reality. When you bring the picture of your beautiful, pure, wonderful, magnificent, complete self, you can call it your perfect self as well. When you bring that picture to your mind, so you first create that picture and then you bring it to your mind. It's a beautiful visualization, right? This person who's free from fear, free from pressure, person who is able to be themselves without anything. You're not doing things just because you want to show and prove people anything. No. When you can bring that picture to your mind, you have this beautiful sense of relief. And you can actually feel that right at that point in time. And the more you can actually start creating that vision of yourself, the more you grow into that space. And that's it. That's what I do in my meditation. I just visualize my perfect self. And every day, slowly but steadily, I see myself going closer and closer towards that wonderful space. And all of us have that space. We have a beautiful song inside our hearts. Let's all live and enjoy that song. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Prakash. I have been receiving 2-3 questions on my private messages. So you can even share your questions. You don't have to share them directly with me. You can share it with the whole group so everybody can benefit. So you can put it publicly, no issues. So thank you very much, Prakash, once again. Thank you, Khalid, for the beautiful insights, for the beautiful words that you put of wisdom here. Everybody has shared some important jewels that we can all take and benefit from. So with this, we can start with our Q&A session. It would be a beautiful light session. You would see the time has just passed by so fast because we are enjoying our time together. So I have received a question for Prakash. It's saying from Mahesh. Mahesh is saying that younger generations today, Brother Mahesh is saying that young generations today are very talented and they have an attitude of high success. They want to be successful, but along with the attitude, what is the thing that they should focus on? For example, is it their creativity? What is it exactly that they should focus on? So this is for Brother Prakash.
Thank you. Thank you. I think they are very creative. They are very driven, very determined. And, I believe they got all the ingredients to do some wonderful work. One thing I would just think about is strengthening their own selves. They got to really build a lot of inner strength and resilience. That comes with a little bit of learning and understanding themselves, not just at a physical level, but more at a spiritual level as well. So I think that spiritual orientation will be very beneficial to them, because whatever they do in this world, they must have a better way to apply it. They must have a better way to express themselves. So if I'm only having materialistic gains, and that's what I'm actually pursuing, without a spiritual context, I can misuse those material things, or I may not really enjoy them as much as I want to. So I think the spiritual angle should be included.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. So any other questions? We are opening the floor. If you want to ask your question, you may raise your hand and ask your question by video, or you can type it down in the chat box and it would be read out to the speakers. So I'll give you just a few minutes. If anybody has a question, you can do that. You can type it down. And the meantime, as well as that, I can ask, I have actually two questions, one for each, one for Brother Prakash and one for our dearest Brother Khalid. So I'll start with Mr. Khalid, which is, he talked about something very important, which is presence, being here, power of now, being in the moment. With all what's happening in the world today, there's a lot of different challenges, a lot of different dimensions, a lot of things happening. Do you have any certain techniques that you use to help you becoming present? Like anything you would like to share on this point?
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting question, to be honest. And, one thing that I have read a while ago, and I found it the easiest way to connect with myself, especially during challenging times, is the story about a prince and princess in Andalusia, in ancient Spain. And the story says that the wife got really, really sick very fast. And the prince was Al-Mu'tamad bin Abbad, one of the famous poets of Sevilla, present-day Sevilla, or Ishbilia in Arabic. And no doctor knew what was happening with her. And they married after a very long love story. So as usual, the man did not really know exactly how to make his wife happy. So he started asking everyone around in the kingdom or in Sevilla for help. How would he go about, getting his wife's health and life back? And one came forward, and she was a friend of her wife, is that the only thing she has is that she was homesick. And what homesickness was not only that she was far away from home, but she was feeling that she came from humble origins, and she would walk the streets very freely. And since she became a princess, she lost the connection with her childhood, with herself, and who she really is. So what the wise person advised the prince is to bring dirt and earth from her home village and to put it all around the palaces, and to ask his wife to go into the garden and to walk barefoot over the dirt and the garden, because the wise person told him, we are all made of the dirt of the earth, and if we really want to connect with our true selves, is to be humble and to remember what we are really made of, and that's what brings our soul and spirit and mind and body together. So what I do is that I run barefoot on the beach every morning, except on weekends, so 5 days a week. And it reminds me of my hometown. I'm from Salalah. And, I think I started wearing shoes when I was maybe 8 or something, but since until I was 8 or 10, until 6 p.m. when my parents see me, I was just barefoot, either playing soccer or running on the beach or going to the farms. So the only way that I can connect with my childhood the same way as the princess was to feel the dirt in my feet again. So I do that every morning, and and I think for each one of us, we need to find how do we remember our our most peaceful moments that makes us present and connects us with who we really are. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A beautiful answer. There's some words of thanks from Khalid Al-Mujini, Hakim bin Nasser saying thank you, Mr. Prakash. Thank you, Mr. Khalid. Thanks a lot. And Jidai Jerry as well. So many thanks over here. There is a question as well. However, before I go on with a question that I have for Mr. Prakash, I would like to ask this question. It came through on the direct messages from Prakasham. The question to Mr. Khalid is, how do parents contribute to bring the youth and prepare them strongly for the world ahead, like to create a better future, a better destiny? So what is the role of the parents in such world today? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. That's a very, very interesting and challenging question at the same time. And I think the most valuable thing that we can do for others is that once we took care of ourselves and found our own voice only, that we can help everyone else, and especially our loved ones, our children, to find their own voice and calling and message. And there was something very interesting that I learned. You remember the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. In the last book called The 8th Habit, it says that the 8th habit of highly successful people is to find that once they find their own voice, they help others find their own voice. So some parents, they try to control their children. Some parents try to let their children loose, and they just can't find themselves. And both ways don't work. Letting them all loose or trying to be strict with them hardly ever works. But I think what we can do is first show them by example that we have found our calling in life. We are doing meaningful things with our lives. We're building knowledge. We're contributing to the life of others. Because no matter what we do and no matter what we tell them, if they don't see us as the example, they would not follow. So that's number one, is that we find our own voice. It's like being on the plane. They tell you have to put on your mask first and breathe before helping others. And the second thing, after we find our own voice, is to go with them on the journey to discover what is it that is their calling. Are they wonderful in the social field, in the scientific field, in the economic field, in the creative field, which is very, very important as well. And when we go with them on that journey, I think we'll be doing them the greatest favor. So I would just say, find out your own voice as parents or as a person and a human being, and be the example that you want them to see, and then go with them on a journey where they explore themselves and they find their own voice.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. If there's any more questions, please do share them in the comment box, or even you can raise your hand if you'd like to share any question via video. One more question that was for Prakash. You've not yet to sleep, Prakash. We still need you here. So a beautiful question over here for Prakash is, social media today has made failure 10 times worse. Like everything, if you fail on anything and it's on social media, then it made it 10 times worse. So how do we deal with this in terms of creating a better destiny? Let's say you started up a project and this project failed, and then you had a lot of hammering on the social media. How do you deal with this kind of pressure and create a better destiny and become more successful?
Yeah, I feel a lot of our identity should not come from social media. social media has its own benefits, right? We want to support people. We want them to know of something happening. Today, also, a lot of us over here are because of social media, right? We wouldn't have been possible for us to be in this place. At least some of them probably saw it on Instagram, some on Facebook, but that's how, social media is being used. But I should stop taking energy from it. So if for me, social media became a source of energy, okay, I got 1,000 likes, I feel energized. I got 2 likes, I'm not energized. People say good things about me on social media, I feel great. They don't say anything nice, I don't feel good that day. So I think that's where I must learn to not take energy from it. Today, people are speaking good, tomorrow, they'll not speak good. I'm successful, everybody's speaking nice, and I take all those credit. If I'm not successful, people speak against me, then I obviously will have to take all the debit as well, right? I can't just say I need all the good stuff, don't give me the bad stuff. So I think if I don't need the bad stuff, then I should stop taking the good stuff as well. So I think once I really understand what is the means to understand social media in that perspective, then I should be able to stand it in a better fashion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm scrolling down to see if there's any questions from your side. If you want to share anything via video. Yes, any question?
Well, I'd like to ask Brother Khalid. I mean, he shared something very beautiful, Brother Khalid, about endowment. And I love that part. So, can you just share a little bit more about how can youth make that more possible?
That's a very interesting question, and to be honest, I was not very good at it. I knew the 3 things that I wanted to achieve as my destiny before, but what happened is that I was performing pilgrimage in Mecca. And one of the questions that was in my mind is that I wanted to dedicate something for my parents. May their souls rest in peace. And the question is hunting me because it was so big. How do I ever thank them for everything that they have done for me? And how would I make it last forever? And, I was performing pilgrimage. Someone passed me by who, no one was paying attention to. And he had some papers with him, and it looked like a legitimate organization. And I just have because I was worried. I wanted to strike a conversation with him, and I found that he was running a school, and that school was for children who could not fund the getting a scholarship. And so it was very interesting. And one thing that interested me is that once you make a donation to them, you become a permanent donor. So that money gets circulated within the school, no matter how small, and your name is written because you have believed in the mission of reading and writing. So he said there are so many other endowments that get more because they are more flashy. They teach people computer science, a scholarship to universities all over the world, to the US or the UK. But he said these particular schools here, because it's only about reading and writing, people don't think much of it. So I felt that the universe gave me such a beautiful gift, because that's exactly what I was looking for. And I've learned since then. I've read a lot. So in these, some of the unlikeliest places in Yemen, for example, they have almost 100 types of endowments. There are people who leave part of their fortune to put water for cats. There are people who leave water wells. There are people who leave one tree in a farm that no one will, of their inheritance, no one is to touch forever. There are farms in Dakhiliya where people have put part of their will that no one should touch them, and they're there for 700 years. So, if we want to do good, we will find a way. And anything that is sustainable and will last a generation, I find it is part of our destiny that we, all the fortune that we get, if we can set aside few reals that will generate wealth for others, then that is very meaningful. One last thing is, a lot of people, they go for the flashy kind of legacy, like, naming a building or naming a, spending a lot on trying to be remembered. I don't feel that that is the only way to be remembered. Sometimes it is the simplest things, like, helping people and teaching them how to write and read. So that's what I meant by an endowment.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for the beautiful question. Okay, so we have a spot for one more question, and this question is headed to Prakash. See, when you ask questions, you receive questions. That's how it goes around. That is the beautiful energy. So, okay, we have a question for Prakash. Now youth has a lot of energy and creativity, but how can we make them use it in a worthwhile way by contributing to the world? Sometimes it happens that they lost. Just a second. Sometimes it happens that they lost due to the situations around. Okay, so basically, how can we preserve energy of the youth and make them use it in a positive way continuously, like they wouldn't have to lose it sometimes?
Yeah, I feel giving them, values is important. Because one is they have the skills, they have the talents, and they know what to do. But for them to know how to do it, if they can be given some values that they can discover of their own selves, actually, and those could be the tenets that will be the guiding principles for them. And whatever they do, they should have some way to know whether it's right or wrong. Is it good or bad? Once they actually have that, and if they can be aligned with something that's really strong. For example, one of the things I look at myself is, okay, am I doing something that is going to be beneficial to me and to the rest? So the value I have is benefit to all. Another value could be mercy, right? Mercy could be a very strong value. If I have that instilled inside me, whatever actions I'm doing, I want to be merciful to nature, to people, to property, everything. So I think if we have these values, the energy will be guided in a better fashion. Peace is a great guiding value. Peace as in terms of whatever I'm doing, is it establishing peace or is it destroying peace? And not just of myself and a few people, but the world in general, every single one. And also a bigger value is how we are all connected with each other, right? Like Brother Khalid mentioned, there's this massive connection that we all have. So if I can really understand that, then why will I do anything that hurts somebody else? Because we're all connected, we know each other. I wouldn't do anything to hurt my own brother. So can I really connect with each, at a very, I would say deep level, so that we are all doing things which is in benefit to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prakash. Beautiful answer. Just a second. Yeah, you can hear me now, I believe. As a reminder, I would just share the Google form. So you can please write down your details within this form so that you receive the programs from the center, the Raja Yoga Center, and you enjoy them, the upcoming programs, August and onwards. So thank you very much for the beautiful insights, for the speeches. Now we will go by, as we said at the beginning, we will give each speaker 5 minutes. Let's say 3 minutes now. We will give each speaker 3 minutes to summarize what they took out from this session or any thought that they want to share by the end of this session. And then stay tuned because we would have a beautiful meditation to end with from the Raja Yoga Center host. So let's start with speaker number 1, Mr. Khalid. If you have anything to share, you can go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. I have learned a lot from listening to you, Ahmed, and to Mr. Prakash. It's, what really touched me is the Raja Yoga Center resilience for all these years, and reaching out to someone like me who knows very little and thinking that I have something that is valuable to share with others. And it reminded me of, in the middle of all the work that we are doing, that there are others who are really determined to be selfless and to think of other people as well. So that was very touching. We're talking about today about destiny and challenges. How can we overcome them? And I think the best way to do this is to think about what is our end goal in life. And I think our end goal in life is to lead a good life that others will testify that we have led a good life. And others will pray for us whenever they remember us. And they will thank us for the useful knowledge that we have left here. And they will thank us for investing and putting our resources where our mouth is. And I would encourage people, and especially parents, is to befriend their children and to go with them on a journey to discover themselves. It's beautiful to push our children to be all scientists and doctors and engineers and everything, but it's even more beautiful to encourage them to take care of their spirits and take care of their soul, and to discover their senses and to be one with the world and to be present. Once we help them achieve that and find their own voice, their career will open to them. But if we push them to become the best and the most renowned engineers and doctors, but there is something not right about their souls and their spirits, they will never be content with their life. So I think our role is to be the role models and examples for them, and accompany them on a journey where they discover their own destiny that they are here in this universe to fulfill. Thank you so much again, Ahmed and Mr. Prakash, for enlightening me, and for everyone else here to be such good audience and listeners.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid. And we all have to thank the Raja Yoga Center who brought us here today on a Thursday evening. Usually what would we do is enjoy a pizza or do something like that, or have some activity with the family. But a lot of good sharing and a lot of good knowledge was indeed shared here. And of course, we have enlightened altogether over, I can see here as participants on Zoom, over 40, and I believe some as well have joined on YouTube. So thank you very much. Now let's move on to Prakash and hear from Prakash some final words.
Yeah, my final words will be of gratitude. I'm grateful really to the Raj Yoga Center for making this possible for so many people. And I feel even if one person can go back with something that's going to be beneficial for them, it's great. I think it's a great act of generosity and kindness that they're giving so much. So Raj Yoga Center, Sister Gayatri, and the entire team that is there, it's amazing, including you, Ahmed. Well done for comparing this and doing such a beautiful job. And our wonderful brother Khalid for sharing such deep insights in such a nice and easy flowing way. So thank you so much. It was so useful. And I'm taking so much back with me. As I said, every second we are changing. So I'm a new person now. I've taken a new birth with these new ideas. And so I'm sure a lot of youth and parents of youth who've heard today have so much to go back and do some wonderful stuff. We are so privileged to have youth amongst us. They are the lifeblood of the whole society, and we have our best wishes for them. We know they're going to do well. And if they just keep in touch with, like-minded souls like Brother Khalid, I'm sure it's a beautiful way forward. So we are looking at a bright future, I must say. And that's it. So I'm just looking forward to that. Carpe diem, right? Seize the day. That's the only message to all the youth. Enjoy themselves whilst they pursue their purpose with humility, but constantly keep seizing the day and carpe diem. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just before moving the mic over to Raja Yoga Center, the beautiful host for this event, I would say that as we all learned here today, we are above 40 people here now. Let's use this as an endowment and share our knowledge, the beautiful knowledge that we gained with other people around us, with our families, with our friends, with our loved ones. This would help us in creating a better destiny and moving on from challenges to creating better opportunities and making the world a better place for all of us together to live with. Thank you very much. A real word of appreciation for both our speakers, Mr. Khalid Al-Huraibi, thank you very much. And Mr. Prakash as well, thank you very much. You have shared a lot of beautiful wisdom and insight. Now we will be moving on to a final beautiful gift. We got a beautiful gift at the beginning from Sayyid Khalid bin Hamad. He had shared beautiful words of wisdom as well. So thanks to him as well, the Olympic chairman. And now we will move on to the final words from Raja Yoga host, the host center. They will share a beautiful meditation experience for around 5 minutes. So let's stay tuned. Let's stay calm. Let's stay in a place that is quiet, and so we can engross and we can get into this experience. So over to you, Raja Yoga Center.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. So we were listening for such wonderful words from everyone. So we felt so good and enlightened also, as Prakash was saying. So we are new now as such, because with the new vision, new wisdom and all that. But to save it, like we just entered all the data into ourselves. So it's again, the file needs to be saved. So without saving it, if we close it, so then everything will get deleted. Even though we just try to close, it starts asking us and remind us, saying that, would you like to save your file? So such a good technology, which is again, man created it. So, but the same thing, we have to do it, because we got so many things in, and that needs to be saved in our intellects. So this is how, again, I would like to say that Raj Yoga meditation helps us, where it allows us the space to understand it, allow that changes inside ourselves, because it's again an understanding giving to our own self, because without that I won't bring that. After even maybe tomorrow, at this time I may forget, with being with my family members and all that. So that needs to be like added into our life. So for that, changes needs to be like saved or given to our intellects, saying that this is what I have to, or I have to do from now, or I have to adapt it. So in that quiet, silent state of mind, and I am allowing those thoughts, so that I can be that. So that is what is mainly required. Otherwise, we keep on putting so many things inside us, and it just again evaporates, I can say. So the mainly the things which needs to be adapted. So for that, I have to like allow myself to like save it. So Raj Yoga meditation, again, it's, we can say that, where we allow ourselves to even transform the things which we don't want to, that also can be overcome. So there are many benefits, and that we will see it later. But now we take some time for ourselves, where we will be connecting to the self to experience that silence. So we all sit back. So wherever we are at this moment, we will just keep the things aside, and we sit straight. Rest your legs on your feet on the floor. At this moment, I just gave a thought for my own self, that this is my personal time, where I can be with my own inner self. An appointment with my own self. During this meeting, I make sure that there won't be any disturbances. Even though we are doing many things in our life, we can see ourselves as ordinary. We may see ourselves as peaceful, there, loving, or joyful. But do we truly see the extraordinary, beautiful, exquisite, powerful, divine beings that we are? This is a meditation, an amplified soul consciousness. It's about giving yourself permission to stretch out of your comfort zone and see something extraordinary in yourself. So begin by taking a free flow of deep breaths, relaxing more and more deeply as your mind and heart drift away from the world and into soft space stillness. Imagine now that you are standing on the edge of a shore, looking over a beautiful vast lake that seems to stretch for miles and miles and miles. In front of you is an exquisite boat. It can take you across. It can be the boat of your dreams, and is up to you. Whatever you imagine to be, but sit somewhere comfortable and secure and feel that boat as it drifts out into the center of the lake slowly, quietly leaving the shore of your life. For a few moments, as the boat continues to drift you, go even deeper into a state of relaxation, and to the state of pure, sublime, beautiful peace, where your mind is clear as the blue sky around you. When you begin to sense that light, that spirit, that the divinity that you are, sense more and more as the world of situations disappears, and as your boat drifts deeper and deeper into the center of the lake, you begin to feel weightless, as if you have lost your form of flesh and bone, and all that's left is just still, pure, beautiful light. And you see now that you are close to the other shore. At said exquisitely beautiful place, very peaceful, very natural, very simple. And as you get to the other shore, you see all night lamp, an extraordinary vision of yourself, an extraordinary vision of your beautiful beauty, your goodness, your light, your brilliance, your capacities. Allow yourself to see that vision of the extraordinary you. Notice the qualities that radiate from you. And as you see this vision of yourself, pick a few words that describe it. Luminous, perhaps listen. Pick a few words that describes the extraordinary you. And now I would like you to step towards that version of yourself and merge with that extraordinary part of yourself. Step into it and feel yourself. Expand with vitality, with energy. Perhaps it could be expanding into a deep silence of truth and peace. Whatever it is for you, allow that to kill you now. Ask yourself what would happen if you saw that version of yourself as extraordinary. At least 2 or 3 times a day. If you took some time out to just visualize that part of you, and if you are having trouble connecting it, as an exercise you could always use your words to describe that part of you. To activate the vision, you could say, luminous, blissful, deeply loving. What would happen if you saw yourself in that light? And now step back into the boat. Do you feel just expansive and wonderful and extraordinary? And just enjoy relaxing as that boat drifts back to the shore of your life with a whole new vision of yourself. Just drinking in all that wonderful pure light and spiritual energy, feeling yourself slowly return the world of activity, the world of flesh and bone, matter, but in a whole new way, knowing that when you change your version of yourself, your whole world will dramatically shift and a new phase of life will unfold. And that's why it takes such courage to access that light, because it will change everything when you see yourself as the extraordinary, divine, brilliant child of God, that your everything will change and the life you have been dreaming up will begin to reveal itself to you in its own way, in its own wisdom, and in its own time. At this moment, I allow myself to experience the God's rays which is falling on me, which is more powerful and adding my energy. I'm feeling so empowered. Whatever may be the situations I'm coming across, God's power allow me to face. Being myself, new, powerful. I remain with this experience for a moment, allowing that feelings feel the new empowered version of yourself which is just in front of you. As I return to my daily routine with this light, prepared to create a whole new way of elevated spiritual living.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Hope you all had a beautiful journey. Yes, Ahmed, you would like to say something?
No, I'm just saying thank you very much, sister, for the beautiful meditation. Hope everybody took this opportunity to go for at least 5-10 minutes within and just indulge the beautiful senses and reach within, because it's very important to do so. So from my side, I would like to extend my thanks to both our speakers, to you beautiful listeners and beautiful smiles, especially the people who put on the camera so we can see your beautiful smile. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who has attended this session. So this is my final words. I would like to thank you all. And back to you, Sister Gayatri, you can do the conclusion.
Yeah. So I thank you too again for having such good coordinating because without the proper coordination, the program won't go. So you led us so beautifully. So thank you very much, Ahmed, for coordinating and making this program in a well-mannered way. And I would like to just thank His Excellency Syed Khalid bin Ahmed Al Busaidi, Chairman, Oman Olympic Committee, for giving us such wonderful message on this International Youth Day. Being on his busy schedule, in the end moment, he sent his voice recording for this program. So on behalf of Raj Yoga Center, I would really like to thank him. And next, our wonderful speakers, Khalid Al-Uraibi. Yes, as you said, it's not that you are not known, you are known, but as you are quite behind, so in that way people know and appreciate. So it's not the name, but your lifestyle, your personality, and the things what you are doing. So that itself speaks in the hearts of the people. So thank you very much, agreeing with for joining us today, and it was a wonderful sharing from you. And keep looking forward to see you in with Raj Yoga. So we really would like to have that relationship. Thank you very much for joining us today, Mr.
You're most
Kali.
welcome. Thank you.
So, and the other one, like the speaker, even though he's also a busy person conducting so many online sessions, Mr. Prakash Chugani. So he also joined us and enlightened us about the today's program, and he gave his wisdom how his challenges was and how he took those changes as opportunities in his life. Is simple examples, but it's mind opening in that way. So really wonderful sharing from him also. So today we had wonderful speakers, wonderful sharings of their wisdom. So hope all the participants enjoyed today's session. As such, it is live on YouTube also, so many joined us on YouTube to view this. So as it is in YouTube, maybe in the future many will be viewing this program also, not only now, in future also many will be benefited from this program. So hoping all this, and happy International Youth Day once again, and a great evening to go ahead, and happy weekend to everyone, and greetings of peace, and thank you on behalf of Raj Yoga Center for joining you all for this wonderful day. Thank you very much.